I'm time to build it, but in life I'm moving forward, and I'm dodging the bullshit that's laying in my road. I see people talking crap, they couldn't out rap fucking half for me. I'm taking what I want, cause I'm the country rapper Cassidy. And yes, I always carry heat. I calm my nerves by smoking weed. And yes, I'm rocking way too many tattoos than I really need. American flags off in my sleeve, red, white, and blue. It's all I bleed. And when the world goes to shit, I'm robbing your hook from the trees. Redneck, white trash, hillbilly, big gun in the gun rack. Come and give it. Yeah, they thought I was gonna fall out. Now, really, when you see me in the holla holla, chicken will, they call me redneck, white trash, hillbilly, big gun in the gun rack. Come and give it. Yeah, they thought I was gonna fall out. Now, really, when you see me in the holla holla, chicken willis. Yeah, what's up, motherfuckers? Yeah, you thought I was gonna stick around. Mr. Never Rep the City. Still living my little town. A lot of people chatting, plotting plans and trying to shut me down.
Hey, what's up, YouTube gang? Let me go ahead and all right, YouTube gang. Hey, we're dipping on Copenhagen Wintergreen. I like to start all my YouTube videos with a pinch. So if you take and if you do dip, y'all make sure y'all put one in with me, and we'll get started. Nice little pinch. Cheers, guys. All right, guys. So, title of this live stream is about me. Really? Yes, guys. We're gonna talk about me a little bit. We're gonna talk about me a little bit. Look, the previous videos that I done, and y'all have never had a video or a live stream that was about me. A Q&A, the last video on the Brian Out the Club, but we never had one here. That's odd for me, because I always liked it about me, so you guys can know a little snippet, you want to call it, a story about my life. So y'all sit back, buckle up, put a dip in, go get you something to drink, get you some popcorn if that's what you want, or hell, pause the video and go to McDonald's and get you a Big Mac, large fry, and a Coke, if that's what you want to do. It is all up to you. They just to let you know, there may be some people coming in here on this video and commenting because I am live. But I figured what best today, because I told you guys that my next video will be about me, as promised to your video. Okay, and I'm give you a kind of a story, as you will, and it all leads up. Everything will end up where I am. And so if this video is, I apologize very, very much. And I'm sorry, I spitting in Minute Maid premium. This is juice blend, grape, and pineapple, fucking good. So guys, go get you some. But it's let's get to the story. Okay, it's basically I grew up in a small town called Fort Myers, Florida. Um, I was raised in um, South Florida. They had a bunch of blacks in that neighborhood. My aunt and my at that time my aunt and uncle lived behind me or behind us. My grandparents lived on the other side. I raised around my cousins, Missy, Bert, Jesse. We were all living in Fort Myers together. Um, and I would go to their house every weekend, spend some time with my grandma and my granddaddy. My dad and my grandmama divorced. My actual home was the house that my great I don't know how this my great grandfather no built a while back. What he built a 2-story house behind my grandma's house, his house on the next block that he built, and my great grandma after my grandpa passed away. He passed away before I was little, or passed away before I was born. My great grandma, she was alive. I want to at least say until I was 5. Um, much about visiting her. Um, kid. I do know she used to come to my grandma's house, and we had fun hanging out. I do know that when grandma passed away, she had a old classic car. Don't know what happened to it. I used to beg my dad to take me to school in it. I went to school behind, which was not even a block from my house, or from my grandma's house. I do remember not so much as my mom and dad. My real mama and dad divorced, but they split up. Was working for Charlie Howitt. He was an electrician at that time. My grandmother and grandfather took my 2 sisters, lived with my Aunt Marie and my Uncle Clifford for a while. Um, we would go home on the weekends, and we used to have to pack up on the weekends and go to the houses that we were living in. We got to see Dad when he come home. It was very few. It was just on the weekends, and Dad used to come pick us up from school and stuff. There was weekends that I would go to my grandmother's house. But as that was taking place, he met a woman that he grew or went to high school with. They had dates. He went to the racetrack, all this stuff. I do remember her coming to my dad at our house and having dinner. We moved all of us kids, there was three of us, to move back home with my dad. And moved in. At that time, we switched schools and we were going to school in Lehigh. Um, I was in elementary, I want to say elementary school. And um, I don't know, my sisters were little still. They were going to daycare in Lehigh. Um, it was some years that we stayed there. Didn't like the neighborhood. My stepmom didn't like the neighborhood, so they built a house in Lehigh. Um, at that time they got married when I was 6. We moved to the Lehigh house. Um, then while I was in school, I had elementary school. I had hip surgery. I was out. I was home ridden for a while. I couldn't go to school. I went back to school. Year after that, um, but elementary school, I was in GED classes. Was on Ritalin, and then middle school, I went to Lehigh Middle School, um, which I was always in trouble. As the first got arrested that year because of a teacher I didn't like. Because he stuck up for a kid that I didn't like. He was talking, and I whooped his ass. And then the teacher started who it was, and he started his shit. And so I asked him to go to the bathroom. He wouldn't let me. And I said, fuck it, I walk out. And I walked out. And right before I said, if you gonna walk out, I'm gonna write you up. And I pretty much told the class with my pants down, told them to kiss my ass. And at that had to um, file for sexual whatever deal. I couldn't be around which I didn't have to do that, thank God, because the principal, the sheriff department, the sheriff officer was in the meeting when I went back to school, the hearing, and they really, really liked me. I apologized for my actions that allowed me to go back to school. So I finished that school, passed by the skin in my hair, went to Lehigh Senior High School. And then I transferred out of there because there were too many fights between blacks and whites and Mexicans. It was just too much. And then I went to private school, moving to Tampa, Ocala area, lived with my mom, my grandmom, and I dropped out of school because they wanted to hold me back. In 10th grade, I said, fuck you, not doing that. And then I moved to Georgia. I was 16, started working with my dad doing trucking. I am a dispatcher for company. Um, and I've been doing it for 14, or I've been doing it for 14 years. Um, I'm I had a lot of run-ins and picked on, bullying through school, elementary school, middle school, high school. You know, I mean, I left here and moved down my mama's. Worked at worked at a couple places. Did eBay, all that shit for a year, some year for a year and a half, 1 year, and then I moved back and started doing what I've been doing now. Um, I had a wild life during those, middle school, high school, and all the way up to um, my adult life. I dated my couple girl for couple girl. As I was in tech school, I was taking GD classes. I was going to over there at the tech school. Oconee Tech is now the name of it in Sandersville. Um, and I was working same company that I am now. Um, but it I quit and stayed working for Pops. Been let go, fired, come back, and all that shit. One girl who I was dating in Middlesville, Georgia. Um, when I left, we were going to have a life, and it so well. She was just there for my money, which is another story time later on. Um, when I talk about internet, um, I would just like to say hoes, but she caused me to go and tell her to get bit. She needed to get out of the house. At that time, I had a house across the street from my dad and my grandpa up here. I was living in an apartment in town. I couldn't afford it anymore because I just turned 21 and I was doing a heavy drinking. I'm telling you guys, I spent about $200-300 on alcohol at that time. Um, so I couldn't pay my bills. I moved to down here in Riddleville. The house that I was living at the time, um, I lost. I had $100 left, but my dad and I got into it because of that internet hole. Um, I had told her she had to go. She had 30 minutes to get the hell out of my house. Well, she called her sister. Her sister left nasty voicemails on my phone. And then they turned around, called the sheriff department. They searched my grandparents' house for me because they said I kidnapped, which was not true at all because we went and got him and brought him here. I didn't know she lost her house up there because she couldn't pay for it, all that shit. And so my dad called me at my sister's house. Story short, I went over there to see what the hell the deal was, and there was sheriff department sitting at my old desk, and I said, "What the fuck are you doing here?" And real like that, he fucking snapped back at me, and he told me, he said, "I could arrest you right now. Fuck ahead, arrest me." And I hand up my hands on, and then we went through. She ended up going to her sister's. Um, I haven't, we talked here and there. The cops told, before then we talked, and she said that the cops told me, said don't have nothing to do with her. We talked. Oh, I was and da 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 da, and it was just at that time. I didn't want to be with her. But before all that took, I loved her. I mean, I thought she was the right one. End up that wasn't the right thing to do. At that time, y'all laugh if you want to. I was in what they call a dark place in my life. That fuck women. I don't need a female in my life. Right? I'm gonna try something else, and I end up trying to date a guy, and that didn't fucking work out because all he was trying pills down my throat and trying to rape me and shit. And I said, fuck this shit. I left, end up going back to my ex, which back in while I was in the tech school. I met her. She was 36. So her life was just fucking. I mean, she was having a time in her life as well as mine, and she was off her medication. Um, and she was just going through a divorce, all that shit. I mean, she looked rough, couldn't sleep, couldn't do nothing. And I told her, I said, and she came to GED classes, and she was in my classroom. And me and the teacher looked at her and said, you know what? You need to go home. When you get back ready to come to the class, come back. And she ended up coming back. We talked, a while. We end up dating, and dated another girl, which that's a long story. I will not get into that. But me and my ex ended up on spending 10 years together. Um, Off and on, I started dating her when I was 16 years old. I dated her all the way till I was 27 years old. At my 28th birthday, I took her behind the house. This house that I was in, I just purchased this house. Like, just purchased this house. Um, and I was working with Littman Logistics at that time. Purchased this house at 28. The house why is the house that I was in was my sister's and her ex-husband's, but they purchased or they were renting it. That wasn't theirs. They were renting it. They end up finding a house over there by and I had nowhere else to go. They wanted me to pack up and leave, but my work was in Riddleville, so I stayed. After I come back from convincing my dad that I needed a job, and I had a bunch of bills that was, I mean, I had like $3,600 in debt at 23, 24. So I paid all those off in a year and a half. And then that house was getting to the point where I couldn't breathe, had mold, the roof was caving in. And that's the reason why I bought this house. So I moved in it. We left Lippman Logistics, moved here, started our dad started his own company that went out, and then we started with this new company. Love it. Um, be proud of working at this company. And then later on, I was on Live Me here and there. And then I met Amy. We started talking for a couple months, went to a year. And at that time, I said, you know what? You know, I just lost my ex. I need a friend. We started doing that, and then we started dating for 2 years, and then I proposed, um, and asked her to be my future wife. Um, I visited her last year. We went and to Old Town, that stuff. Visit her dad. Her dad wasn't because I'm after his daughter. His dad, her dad was like, y'all think y'all know what love is, and y'all really don't know nothing. And he was telling me, Amy, she she's this, she's that, and the other. And I had that conversation with him man to man, and I told him, I said, it's not up to you. It's up to your daughter. And way I feel is, if your daughter wants me, your daughter's going to be with me, and I'm going to be with your daughter. I'm going to be daughter 100%. You cannot stop it. You know, but then sat down and thought about things and asked people questions, and the whole time me and Amy was together. My cousin was calling and asking how we were doing, and everything was going right at that point in time. My whole life was ever was. I'm gonna tell you that. I'm not going to lie about it. At the same time, she had her issues, and I was helping her. You got to do this, you got to do that. I sat down and worked with her, set whatever her issues was at that point in time. Um, I was working with her, and she was growing. She figured out what it really was, and she loved me I could tell you she loved me ever since she laid eyes on me. She loved me ever since she laid eyes on me that day that she came into my live stream, and we started talking. And it was though, I told her that you need to live your life down there like you're living your life with me. And she has lived her life like that for years. um when I went down and seen her last year, um she came running to me. She did. She came running to me, and I hugged her for like hours. um it felt like hours. And I never forget that what I told her. I told her, I will always love you. I will always love you. And we walked around, her and her daughter, and I walked around um, Old Town, looking at cars and hanging out, walking in stores, and I remembered our first date like it was yesterday. A&W's, and I bought their first. I bought them drinks and stuff, and I went back to the house and vacation time, and I spent time with my family as well. It was only on the weekend, but it was one of those we wasn't prepared. They wasn't prepared to me jump on that bus and come down there. It was one of those that they were working. Wanted me down there, and she didn't talk to her parents or whatever, and we finally figured it out, and I was able to go down there and had a ride home. It was a time of my life, and now that meant happened, and it's now we're hitting 3 years being together, and next February. So baby, if you watch this, our third anniversary is next February. I'm happy to be a part of your life. And Brittany, I love y'all to death. Um, but so as that 2019, this Christmas, and we've been chatting back on Messenger. We're having a good time together. 2019. Um, we're hoping to have the best year again being together. I'm hoping and praying that we can get her up here. She can spend time at home, spend time with me, um, and kind of do a couple lives together, so you guys can pretty much ask any questions, and concern or questions that you have, um, and hopefully, when she does move here full time, that we'll be able to have this dream. When we first started dating, we always talked about it. We wanted a life full of happiness, love, a family full of, and that's our dream. That's my as we were dating, I kind of adopted Brittany, and I remember the conversation that we were having, and it was just every time we talked, I asked how Brittany was. How's your daughter? And it was just, she never felt a person that was just genuine about her and wanted to know about her daughter. And it took some time, and me and her daughter built a relationship that's a father relationship. Right now I'm kind of raising, or kind of um running two houses. I help her every day, and with Brittany, things come up. I had to go and have these conversations with Brittany. I mean, it's I never thought my life, you guys start to finish, y'all guys life was, but I never thought that my life would end like this, and being extremely happy. You know, um, I I still talk to my ex, a couple of them. Me and her still have a friend bond. We still, me. when I need it. We have this friendship bond. No, we don't talk a whole lot. It's more, good morning, good night type. She lets me know if she's having a problem and whatever. It's more somebody. And I told Amy, look, I know how you feel about me talking to my ex. I got them two talking here and there. They don't talk a lot, but she kind of understands that those issues that my ex is having, um and she's there, and I told her, I said, you and my ex have a lot of things in common. Her husband wasn't as good as good to her. My ex's husband almost burned out the house because he was smoking on a oxygen tank. All this shit. So I mean, they both had issues, and I told her, talk to her and whatever. And so far, it's been looking out, been good. Um, I'm blessed, to have the friendship. Me and my buddy Thomas, we've been friends for almost 14 years. He's like a brother to me. Um, from his nanas. Changed because um, it's raining one day, and I was walking home, and he turned back around and get on the phone with her. I take you home. Get on the phone with her. I take you home. So anyway, I did that, and we talked for a few minutes and ended up going fishing. And one day I told him, I said, look, um, I don't fucking like you. He was like, I don't fucking like you. And I said, He said, what? I said, you want to be friends? No, I killed this one right there. The other three my dad did. So we became friends over the years, and then I met his wife, ex-wife. Then it's Cheryl Marshall, which is my friend now. We met shit 7 years ago. Same thing. So I met people in Palm, people from Georgia. And living here has been a blessing. I live in the fucking woods, so to speak. I'm 20 minutes from town. Um, I am, I want to say 30 minutes and 45 minutes from Augusta, an hour south, Stat Med in the middle, Riddleville. I hunt, grew up fishing. I love fishing. I fished in Lakeport. Um, so I mean, I'm all country person, and I video so y'all know a little bit about me, and I hope you guys will love this video as much as I love telling you a little bit about myself. And I hope and pray that this will give you insight on me. Guys, make sure you like this video. Guys, make sure you share this video. And till next time, guys, this has been Brian Out the Club. And you guys have a wonderful Saturday. Don't drink and drive. Call yourself an Uber. Y'all stay country. Stay true to your roots, guys. And always smile and know that there's somebody out there that loves you for the person that you really truly are. You guys are a blessing, and I'm grateful to have you um, a part of the Brian Knowles Club. If you guys want to know anything about me or want to look up my old channel, it's Brian Knowles the Club. There's two of them. One of the pictures is my grandfather who passed away due to uh, diabetes, and he passed away about 3 years ago. So, guys, you can go look up Brian Knowles the Club on there. There's two of them. But anyway, guys, see you on the next video. Did this video as promised. So, guys, make sure you like this video. If you got any more questions, please put it in the comment, and I will do a video on that. Um, and make sure you check out all my videos. Make sure you go to CBNA on Facebook and join our groups, guys. Also, too, make sure you go check out our group. There's two of them, Ryan Upchurch groups. We're growing leap and bounds, and we like to have you. I will accept all members. I will not accept it all. So you guys want to be a part of that? Go do that. Follow me on Instagram, King of Rednecks. Also, too, go check out my Twitter account, King of Rednecks, Brian Note. And guys, I love you guys. I'm so grateful for my club members. You guys have a great day, and I will see you on the next video. Thank you. God bless you.